Now, Central Oregon's local alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Bob Shaw.
20 minutes before the hour now on this Monday morning, hundreds of first responders from around the Pacific Northwest gathered at Camp Murray in Washington to prepare for the Cascadia earthquake. Drew Mickelson has more on what's being done to get ready.
Those signs that you see on the map represent resources.
Water, food, rescuers. They'll all be needed in the event of a massive earthquake.
And those blue lines are roads that we think will survive based on science, based on criteria.
This natural disaster board game brings together federal and state officials from Alaska, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington.
This is going to have to be an all hands on deck, consolidated effort, and we all got to have to be on the same sheet of music. But life-saving, life-sustaining, and then transitioning into recovery.
This is a drill.
The last Cascadia Rising exercise in 2016
magnitude 9 earthquake
involved physical movement of supplies and military personnel, a much more realistic approach, and one that revealed there's lots of work to be done in preparedness and communication.
We just saw how fragile our infrastructure systems were, and it really became crystal clear that much of the Cascadia response is going to be a huge logistics challenge.
The pandemic gave these folks real-world crisis training, and while outbreaks last fall caused plans for another real-time exercise to be downgraded, this simulation still gives first responders a chance to work on disaster plans together, something they say needs to happen at private homes as well.
Knowing we're not going to have water, knowing we're not going to have sewer, we're not going to have communication or energy, what are the things that you and your family need to be disaster survivors and not disaster victims?
Well, this morning we are looking at a pretty frosty morning for some. It's 18 minutes before the hour, and right now 28 degrees with calm winds at the Bend Airport. So we have just enough of the recipe put together for frost on your windshield. Give yourself a little extra time to contend with that. 32 at the Redmond Airport, and over the last 30, 40 minutes they've had a fairly gentle breeze right out of the west-northwest. Well, this morning we're looking at a pretty good condition all across the nation, with a couple of exceptions. In northern plains, looking at some storm activity through the Dakotas. The Rocky Mountains are getting a little bit of snow. Some of that we sent their way. And we here in the Northwest are contending with a low pressure center that has been so slow moving. It has plagued us here for the last few days. About this time last week, it was in the Gulf of Alaska. Now it's right along the Oregon coast, and it will continue to work its way ever so slowly toward the south. That means that some of the cold air that's within that system is going to continue to wrap into our area, and the moisture that's coming out of the Pacific, we are going to see some of that build back in as well. So we'll have about a 40% chance of some mixed showers through the afternoon and evening. Now, over the next 24 hours, that'll continue to work its way southward. We will see some breaks within this system. However, we are going to stay fairly cold, as on the back side of this, we're still drawing a lot of cold air out of Canada. This is how it looks on our future tracks. I think our clouds may look a little thicker than this as we get through the day, and we'll see a chance of some scattered showers through the course of the day as well. Now, tonight we'll get some partial clearing. Tomorrow, clouds build in a little bit stronger, so you can plan on having another cold and potentially stormy day as we get through the day Tuesday. It's Wednesday when this thing will really start to break for us. This morning, it's cold all across the state. Here in Central Oregon, we're looking at mid-20s to low 30s, and right now under partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. Unfortunately, it it doesn't look like we'll stay that way. We don't have a great deal of wind right now. This afternoon, you'll see northwesterly breezes pick up to about 5 to 15 miles per hour and gust a little bit higher than that for some areas. Current temperatures are chilly, and we're going to stay that way. We were in the low to mid 40s yesterday, mid to upper 40s for most of us today, with a few spots that will break into that 50-degree mark. Colder tonight will be scattered through the 20s for most of central Oregon, and it looks like we're going to stay chilly for the rest of the work week, despite some clearing skies as we get through the middle of the week. Look for more storm activity Thursday and Friday. We really don't get back to warm temperatures until we get into the weekend.